be into this. It's a really small community of people, but I just couldn't help but share some things that I have discovered over the years that I wish that I would have known rather than crushing my soul to the bottom of the lake. In hydrofoiling, one of the big things you get really used to is crashing. You get to spend a little bit of time smashing your face into the water, the good old-fashioned scorpion. You end up landing in the water, and the nice thing about the hydrofoil is you got about 40 inches under your butt and then these wings. But where the magic is after you bury your face into the water, the hydrofoil will catch some more water and then bend your body in half, and you get the good old-fashioned skateboard scorpion that feels just magnificent. So in this video, I want to tell you guys a little bit about what I have learned mainly from the hydrofoil community, and I thought I would regurgitate some of this on how to effectively crash. And you may think that sounds kind of silly. A crash is a crash, but you can most definitely control your body and prevent complete disaster. Step one is never let go of the rope. If you are new to flips and you are new to doing high risk style, flips, rolls, grabs, anything where you're getting airborne, you can control your body and use up the tension before you fall or during the fall. So if you're really, really high in the air and you let go of the rope and you're not at all controlled, it is complete chaos and disaster. If you land square on your side from 15 feet in the air, let me tell you, you feel like you're landing on pavement. So the key is when you get upside down or you get lost, you make sure you don't let go of that rope until you've come back around and you know where you are. You'll know as you get a little bit more experience that you're not going to land the specific trick. But what you will find is early on, you'll let go of that rope because you know you're not going to land it. But as you get better, you realize that even though you know you're not going to land it, you can control the variables at which it doesn't get you completely on your side. It doesn't get you to your face because you held it longer, and then it might make you over-rotate slightly, but you're not in no man's land free-falling from 15 feet in the air. So definitely do not let go of the rope. The next thing would be a little bit more familiar with line tension or aware of it early. When you start doing tricks, think of your hands, feel your hands. If you do a trick and you're not aware of what you're landing or when you're doing the trick, hydrofoiling is all about line tension. So as soon as you get to a spot where you want to throw a trick, the spot is important, but mainly it's the line tension in your hands. And that can be changed by turning the front of the ski more to the boat, away from the boat. It can change by how much you're leaning away from it with your butt and different things. So you want to be conscious of that line tension, because if you start throwing the tricks and you have less line in your hand, then you're probably going to crash more often. If you throw the trick and you've landed several and you have way more tension than you're used to, you're also going to fall. The line tension is the consistency of the trick. So be conscious of that to kind of prevent a lot of these types of falls. But if you come in hot, you take a big cut and you've got a ton of ski speed, you've got to be aware that when you go for the trick, if you have way more line in your hand, it is not going to act the same as the one that you've done 100 times landing the trick. So as you progress, be more and more conscious of your hands, because the more you're getting pulled, the less rotation you're going to want to utilize. The 1.5 happens all the time in this sport because you've over-rotated, you've hucked it a little bit, you drop your chest back slightly. But if you can figure out, there's the sweet spot of where I like it in my hands, you're probably going to get a lot less falls or be in no man's land less often. Now, I think the biggest thing that I wish I would have learned before I hurt my neck was something some of these big air guys I've read through, and you can see it in their videos. It just may not mean much to you when you're early on. That's why I'm kind of making this video. When you go up and you get in no man's land, or even if you've used the line tension to fix a bit of the fall and land a little bit in a better spot, I have to say that the time that I've started covering my head and curling down a bit in the fetal position is by far the best thing I have ever done. After I hurt my neck, I was very conscious of how loosey-goosey it was. I don't know if you guys have ever actually had an injury that was, pretty substantial, but that joint or that ligament, those muscles, whatever your injury was, it takes quite a while to get like confidence and strength back in the area. So whenever I was crashing, it literally felt like a moment when you hit the water of, okay, good, I didn't break my neck. There was always that shell shock factor of, oh my gosh, because I just didn't have the strength and stability I once had. So whenever you get up in the air, number one rule, you don't let go of the rope. And when you get off centered or there's something not right about it, you're not going to land. Get yourself in a lined up area where you're ballpark-ish going to land on the wings. You got to try to get the wings underneath you so it slows your momentum. And then you want to curl up and get your head down a little bit and squeeze your core and hold your head. You can even put your hands over your ears, but be careful with some of that stuff because, you get a little bit of compression, and that would be a side recommendation, maybe different video. You should probably be wearing earplugs if you're doing anything crazy, or a helmet that protects your ears, because the blown eardrum thing, I did that also last year. So I've got a lot of problems with that as well. It's a real safe sport. You guys are going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. But all jokes aside, get the hands up, hold the neck down, and secure the area. And you almost can kind of control that smack. If you take a direct smack on the ear, you're going to blow your eardrum out. So by being able to slightly rotate just a smidge, you can get that direct impact off your ear as well. The one thing I will say that I found, when you cover up and you've got your hands like that, you have to be conscious to hold your elbows very strong, because you got to think what you've created now is these two wings at your head. And if you don't land directly square coming down and you're at any bit of a whip or a top heavy rolling movement into the water, there is so much pressure coming against your arms that it's really going to yank on them. I've had several times where the downward movement almost hurt my shoulder because I was pretty loose. I covered up. I wanted to control my neck. But if all you're thinking about is stabilizing your neck and you don't have a lot of tension built in your elbows to just kind of completely take an impact, they can kind of really get jerked on you. So if you want to make sure that you're not going to hurt your shoulder utilizing this type of thing, what I've done for myself is I cover up my head and I'm tight in my arms. I'm using my strength to make it to where my shoulders are not going to get jerked either. And that's kind of really helped me. And I would highly suggest that if you're getting into hydrofoiling, watch a bunch of people that have done it, listen to their advice. Everyone in this sport is unbelievably generous with the information they're giving you, but it is a very high risk type of experience when you're getting this big air types of tricks, rolling, flipping, all these things. So when you crash, it is important to not just get murdered. You have got to prepare for impact, if you will. And stabilizing your neck has been a game changer in the falls, and it feels a lot different in your core as well. It's not so much of a rib impact with a nice loose body landing flat on your back. Curling up in a ball really does get your body ready for a big smack. And let me tell you, if you're trying to get big air and big tricks, you're going to get some big smacks. So get out there and curl up in a ball and smash the water. You're going to love it.